When you're driving your car and you get yourself in a state of emergency, by default, you step the brake and you pump it so hard because you want to stop the car. Now, unfortunately, as you step and you want to stop the car, chances of the brake pad getting stuck on the brake disc to lock it is high. Now, the ABS is designed to avoid that locking, so it's called anti-locking brake system. So it helps so that the car doesn't lock on the brakes and you get yourself skidding. Unfortunately, if the system has an error, it will bring a light on the dashboard. Many times it's standard, it brings ABS, which is clear for everyone to see. But also it has additional errors that it can easily bring. ESP, Electronic Stability Program, TCS, Traction Control Systems, it brings additional errors on the dashboard. So when it brings those errors, it means that the car or that system is no longer functioning the way it's designed to be. What brings the errors? The ABS, because it's a system, it has a number of components that are designed to allow it to work the way it's supposed to work. You have the ABS sensors. Each of the tires, they have an ABS sensor that records how fast each tire or each wheel is rotating. Now, that sends a signal to the ABS control module. Now, when you step on your brake, you're pumping brake fluid to go direct to your brake calipers. It means that in an instant you've increased the brake pressure. That means we need a brake pressure sensor. That input is required. Besides that, also the car needs to know whether you're in a state of emergency or not. It has within the steering wheel something called a steering angle sensor. Many times when you're in a state of an emergency, what do? Step on the brake, you'll hold onto the steering and either you'll want to steer and counter steer, or in one way or another, your seatbelt, you'll move forward with it. So all those are inputs which the ABS control module understands. Now, if the ABS sensor has a fault and you ignore it, or if a brake pressure sensor has a fault and you ignore it, or if say any other component within the ABS system has an error and you ignore it, the car won't be able to save you in that instance. What does that mean? You will have a longer braking distance and chances of you getting a crash is high because you will easily reach that thing that you're trying to avoid from knocking. The other bit also is that when your ABS error has an issue, chances are high because nowadays we have so many of these modern cars that the signals are required even for headlight range. If you're driving on a highway, the headlight is always high. But if another oncoming car is there, it goes low. Signals are also required from the ABS control module to allow those things to happen when they happen. So certain functions like traction control will go off. Functions of four-wheel will also go off nowadays. Headlight control will also go off. Nowadays, it even comes down into ambient lighting in the car. If that happens, all those functions also go off. The other bit also of ignoring the ABS light is you won't know if the car is developing additional issues. It will stay in there until possibly one day you come into and the car won't start. Why won't it start? Nowadays, brake pressure sensor signals are very important to be able to start the car. So if you ignore possibly an ABS sensor because of the wheel speed sensor, next thing you know, the brake pressure sensor fails, your car won't start. So ignoring one light leads you cumulatively to additional errors adding up, and it of course increases your cost of repair. The other bit also is it gives you false hope. False hope, you think everything is fine until the worst of the worst happens. You really never know how deep it will enter into your pocket or how deep it will enter into your own welfare in terms of life and the life of all those who will use the car besides yourself. So in conclusion, I would say never ignore the ABS light. It's there for a reason. The car is designed to protect you in case of an emergency. The first line protection that the car does is to avoid those brakes from locking. And that is when the ABS functionality comes into play. So whenever you see that light, never ignore it, have it fixed. have it rectified, at least assessed. As you organize your funding or as you organize your finances, in the event that the finance is an issue, I would say you have to take that as priority. Have it always fixed.